asking us last night. He was like, "What's like? There must be a price there. It's worth it." I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure," but it's not. It's not there. And he was asking what it was, and I would hate to see pending and see like 400. I'm sure it's not. There's no way they would take it this early if it was under asking.
Here is McCaffrey breaking the tackle and surging forward, going to be short of a first down. Be a 3rd down and 1. Well, each team has a rookie kicker. Moody had one block. Carlson obviously missed that one, but the way this game's going, I know it's a 4-point game, but there's still plenty of time to get
I have a feeling we are not.
My guess is that it might be something like 600
on either sideline.
Yeah, I would feel okay about that because we wouldn't pay 6 either.
Under 5 minutes we go.
Yeah, it stinks. It just had too much unknown.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you guys are doing the right thing. Like, continue to look. Continue to, like, investigate and think really hard about, like, you guys went through a good exercise.
Yeah, like,
what does it not have? What do I need? What do I really want?
Like, okay, we don't have that house, but it still helped us figure a lot of things out.
Right.
Like, we're happy and able to get a house that's not ready, but
you're willing for that.
yeah, but there are certain things that need to be ready. Also, like, because it was almost like rubber hits the road, like, we had to find out about Malvern, and I think I did. So like it was certain things were helpful.
Yeah, it's a good educational process such that when it's time, and if you need to move quickly,
Yeah.
you've already done all the homework. Like,
Yeah.
There's no, like, we don't have to think hard about this. We don't have to deliberate on this. Like, we know
Right.
where we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the age-old. You can see watch. He's turning that head.
Mom annoyed Tiffany a little bit. Because she like, I think mom and dad have this both a little bit. They almost have like the opinion where you have to like do your time almost, because they lived in the faith home, and so like she just kept saying like it's too big, and we were like, yeah, it's huge, and if we can get it for a price that works for us, that'd be awesome. But it annoyed Tiffany a little bit.
Well, the thing that I would say about too big is that, like, I understand the desire to want a big place in order to host people, but like, by definition, that's not what pastors have. Like, think about any pastor that you know. Like,
well, I don't think that's true. The pastors in our fellowship are that way, but that's just because of partly the life.
I'm just like, to say, pastors don't, like, even, never mind our pastors, or like pastors generically don't, like, you're not going into being a pastor to make money.
In order to host, yeah,
right, like,
yeah, no, definitely not. I think it's nearsighted or shallow to say pastors don't have nice homes.
Well, no,
but
so because pastors don't normally make a lot of money, pastors don't normally have big homes.
Yeah,
that's my point.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, yeah, I think pastors make a wide range of money. But yeah.
The rule is you want to make sure that you use your timeouts on defense. So we're kind of in a tough situation here with right above the 2-minute warning. San Francisco needs a touchdown. We want to make sure if they do convert for a touchdown.
My only point is that, like, would it be nice for you guys, and agree, like, if you can get a big house for a good price,
right?
Like, why not?
that was the point that
Yes.
frustrated Tiffany. It was like
Now this.
it was like we're not gonna say no to it just because it's big. Like
But just don't make that one of your like must-haves because.
yeah, no, and it's not for sure. But it just felt silly. Like we both work and we both work hard and we're saving our pennies and like if a house falls to us, like we're not gonna say like, oh man, like we can really afford it but it's big, so we're gonna say no.
Yeah, Tiffany expressed that same sentiment. You're working hard. You've been working hard. You've got people, you've got family that's helping you, us, your parents.
Yeah.
And yet still you're in a situation where it's the same as us when we first moved. Anything that you like, you can't afford. Anything that you can afford, you don't like.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't necessarily bother me. I mean, it bothers me, but I understand the limits of money and finances. She doesn't quite understand as much as I do, I would say.
You can put a lot of questions at that.
And it is
way to pull this off.
It is frustrating. And I know.
Yeah.
Because I've been there.
Have all been big plays.
The thing, and I wouldn't say this to her, but like, and one of the things I really do appreciate about her is that she does work hard.
Yeah.
That said, she's been working for like.
Yeah, like a year and a half.
You know what I mean? Like nobody can afford a house after you.
Right. Right.
You guys are in a really good position for all of those reasons because she's working. Because
Yes.
she's working.
Yeah.
But like, so that's kind of where I thought you were going with this, with trying like, you know, not to say that there's need.
Oh.
But like, if
yeah, and I know.
It takes you a little while longer, like.
Yeah, and I know like one day we like. I mean, this is the case for everyone. After you've worked for a lot of years, you can get something nicer.
Yes.
No, I was just saying it from. It was just bothersome. It felt like Mom was saying, even if you can't afford it, you can't live there. And like I get where she's coming from, but it was just like, I don't know.
You know it's 4 down territory, so you know you have 4 downs.
Hopefully she was saying in terms of like, it would be too expensive.
2nd and 10 is no different than first.
Yeah.
Considerations of being.
I do know my dad said that.
Of course you did.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I was like, I didn't say it at the time, but.
Inside the 10 and diving near the 6. They're going to put him down at the 5 and right near a first down. I think a little short.
Yo.
Yeah, Purdy kind of escaped the pocket pretty quick. The protection was actually pretty good.
I am playing round 1 of pro.
Great job putting an edge on the backside of that.
I did that yesterday.
How'd you do?
I went -3.
Okay.
I was hitting it pretty terrible.
-3.
I was hitting it pretty terrible this afternoon when I played round 2 and went +3. So even on the tournament, not great.
So our alt shot, we got a good chance here.
How's that?
You got all the bad ones out of the way.
Look at this. He created his hair.
Luca?
Yeah.
Alright, well, just let me know when you're ready. I'm just gonna keep blowing through this.
Yeah. Let me sit you.
No rush.
How can I see your screen?
Oh,
What?
I thought I was sharing my
There it
screen.
is.
See it?
Yeah, you are. I see it. -1. That's good.
Yeah, it's early. I've already won, and sometimes it doesn't bring me to the. drove it really bad on one. But
Yeah. Still went ready?
But then still happened to hit my approach shot close. So that's the kind of
Nice.
thing that like wouldn't happen in real life.
Yeah, round one I was driving it well, but I wasn't hitting my approach shot really well. And then round two, I drove it poorly. I didn't hit my approach shot well either, so.
You can't get away with both. You can maybe get away with one. But.
Yeah.
Can you come and sit when you have a sec?
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem.
Is it number time?
Is Jesse home?
Yeah, he's taking a nap.
I was gonna tell him I bet he could walk in the jacuzzi today.
Remember the other day I had we have this yard thing with the 4 spikes?
Yes.
She was like, bam, bam. I was like, what are you doing? No.
Tiffany had her sock too.
What are you doing? You're puncturing a hole in the lining. What's she thinking?
Well, it's more about what she's not thinking. And she's not thinking about the dotted line that you saw. It's been entertaining me though, watching the jacuzzi freeze. Every morning I just put my foot on it. Just to see how much it froze.
I thought they were gonna
that would make sense, right?
Well, when you what does it mean to close the pool? If it doesn't mean to drain the water.
Right, doesn't water expand when?
Yeah, when it freezes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess really what they're concerned about is blowing the water out of the pipes.
Okay.
But yeah, I would imagine so underneath the cover in the pool, the water's still there?
I think they left some of it, right?
Well, because when they came to do the pool, I was watching them home that day, and I didn't see any water in the street. I didn't see any water so I guess they just left it. Which whatever.
Is that giving number that my dad mentioned? Is that reflective of people giving in different ways?
I think it's definitely true what your dad said. I think it's probably a combination of what you said, as well as the fact that inflation has been a real thing.
Yeah, I know people are struggling more probably.
Phenomenal over the past couple of years, and I think for most people, if it's true that 80% of Americans wouldn't be able to sustain an emergency $500 expense.
Right.
The reality is people probably don't have.
Yeah.
People have less to get.
Because I was thinking about it. I mean, me and Tiffany only give a few times a year, so 2 Sundays ago or something, there was an extra 7,000 just from us. So it definitely fluctuates every time.
And I know for me, my income is so chunky. 80% of my compensation comes all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So for my whole life, I've not given on a weekly basis.
Right. Yeah. It just is easier for me mentally. I give twice a year.
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly what Matt was saying too. Just the hassle of actually writing a check. He just gives once a year too.
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination of both of those things, and I also think that really what.
Don't you and Tim give in stock?
Yes.
Okay. So that's not going to show up there either.
No, it's going to show up. And that happens once a year.
Right, that doesn't show up with the weekly
Correct.
offering.
Correct.
That's
and even if it did, you would discount that, right?
Right. That what we're getting is Pat Kennedy bring her $25.
Right. reflection of the economic environment that we're in. I do think what your dad is trying to say is that we should have, like, just because we have money doesn't mean that we should spend it.
Yeah.
And I definitely appreciate that perspective. I think that we continue to need, and frankly, like, for you, like, this is a challenge across for every generation. Like, I was talking, so financial advisors are our end clients, and one guy was saying that he's seen it over and over and over. He's like 70 years old, he's doing wealth management since he was young. And he sees immigrants come, and they work really hard, and they bust their tails, and they make it.
Yeah.
And then their kids come, and, you know, depending on how much they felt the struggle, they either also work hard or don't.
Right.
But eventually, that success and that wealth
dries up,
begets soft people. And then they think everything's easy, and they don't work hard.
Right.
And then they squander everything. And then the next generation after that is poor, and they have to dig out of the dirt again.
Yeah.
Right? And
so
then they
like
rise
cyclical.
up. It's this.
Yeah.
It's this. So, I mean, that's one of the things that I've struggled with. Like, how do we, like, we have money. There's no way to pretend that we don't.
Yeah. How to show, like, Jesse and...
Yeah, how do we instill financial discipline in them, and ultimately, like, life discipline when everything to them seems easy.
Right.
You know, and so we're struggling with that. And then similarly, like, from a church perspective for you too, like, how do you simulate that for, like, because your dad grew up in a very, like, different financial environment. Our other ministers grew up in a very different, and so it's the same thing. Like, how do we teach you in the same way that I'm trying to teach Jesse that kind of financial discipline? And I think that's kind of what your dad was trying to say. So it's a point well taken, because I mean I know, like, I easily slip into the attitude, like, we have $1.8 million.
Right.
We're talking about
where's it gonna go?
$1,000. Like, if we need it, just, you know what I mean? And it's so easy to think that way.
Hey, you got just the driving range.
Yeah, my thought too was, and not to be comfortable with this, but
just hard.
Thinking of, I mean, I know largely you, but the position we've set ourselves up for.
To make the ball in the hole.
It's kind of nice that a lot of money begets a lot of money.
Right.
Oh no.
So just by the fact that we have a lot of money, we earned a lot of money too.
Right. If you invest it the right way and have that working for you, then you know, and that's why I'm upset. I'm really upset with myself for not realizing that we had that much money in the bank earning zero. So,
yeah.
I lost like 300.
300? You said it 300? I don't believe you. You're gonna show me that.
Who said they hit 300? And that it was
Walter? Oh, my brother's asking, who hit it 300? And I said, you did. My tea is toast. Oh, you're looking at that number. That's the number it counts down. So we're 416 yards away. And then however far you hit it, it counts down. So I hit mine 288. Minus 416 was 135 or whatever. Okay, so you hit it like 116.
Which rounds up to 300.
Which, yeah, rounds up to 300. Yes, this is yards. Isaac, whenever you're ready, I'm good to go.
Let me finish this all right here.
I played around earlier, so I should be okay with that. It's not like I'm hitting it that well anyway.
I'm ready.
I watched that on Instagram.
Yeah?
There was a band on.
Hey, are the other kids back too? Everyone's back? You didn't get wet?